How much do you think your comedy today would pass? Like if you stood up and did what you did in, what was it, 1965? You did your act there. It's tough being white. That was a,
Yes,
that was
that's
like a like today's Netflix special, a live recorded to comedy album, right? Like to vinyl, was it not?
yes, and I must say that political correctness is really bad in my country, the United States now. But I was in
Oh, it's
Canada
worse here, dude.
recently. You know what? I was just going to say it's a whole lot worse up there
It is.
because, first of all, the firing of the most interesting guy in the National Hockey League, except for a couple of hockey players, was Don Cherry. I mean, I could not understand what all the fuss was about and why they got rid of him. And somebody in Canada said, well, he was getting too much money. Rogers thought he was getting $1 million, or 800,000, which was too much money. And I said they should put a cap on his earnings. So I said, hang on a second. Has the government stepped in to put a cap on the Rogers earnings? No. I mean, that's one of the richest families in America. Don't be crazy. And I said, and the other thing that I hear, I won't mention his name. He's a very successful Canadian actor. He starred in a sitcom up there a while ago, and I don't want to get him in trouble. But he was telling me when I was in Toronto that a bunch of gay groups and women's groups and all kinds of political correctness groups are getting together to try to get Shakespeare out of the public schools. Mm-hmm. I mean, shame on Canada. Goodness gracious. And when I was back there, I have a friend of mine, Len Osanic, who you should have Len on your show. He comes out of Vancouver. He's the best researcher alive right now in broadcasting. It's called Black Op Radio. He's also a great musician, records a lot of bands in his studios. It's called Fiasco Brothers Studios. When I was there 3 weeks ago on my book tour, which went really, really well, by the way, I went down to watch one of his recording sessions, and there are 5 musicians sitting around arguing about the fact that there's so much coverage on Canadian television about the fact that Trudeau, years ago, as a youngster, in some kind of Halloween show or some kind of makeup show, just a party for the evening, dressed in blackface. Mm-hmm. And one of the musicians said something I thought was really bright. He said, the problem now is our media is becoming too Americanized, which is so true because there's absolutely no more freedom of press in the United States, which I'll get into in a minute. But I stuck my head in and I said, that's a brilliant comment. And, I'll tell you something. You guys are making a whole lot of fuss about Trudeau, your president, prime minister, who years ago, went around for one day in blackface. How do you think it's like for me in America? We got a president running around every day in orange face. So
we don't have an orange ethnic group to offend, though.
Yeah. Well, the tough to be white stuff, if you go to my site, I must tell you, a lot of it is unbelievably topical today. Right. And there is absolutely and totally nothing that is offensive to blacks.